You were talking about Imajae, on that front, there's been rumors swirling he's thinking about leaving. Do you know anything more about that?
I know a lot about that, but I'm not going to say a whole lot about that. I'm confident that Imajae will be back with us. I talked to his mom, and I talked to Imajae quite a bit, and I'm giving him sound advice like I would with any of my guys and my children. Make the best decision for yourself, but make that decision after you've gathered all the necessary information. And I wanted to know from him, what is it you're looking for? What is it you're trying to get out of this? And how can I help you? When you can answer those questions, then you can make a better, more informed decision. But like I said, I got a feeling that he's going to be back with us. So I'm not worried about him right now. He's with his AAU team. He's working, getting better. So we're doing the same thing here, getting better without him. So when he comes back, he'll see that this team is a good team without him, but we're a greater team with him.
Right. So when you kind of look at, that whole situation, how much do you think it is that, you're an NBA player, you're from the same area, that you can say, you know what, I've come from the same place, I know where you're coming from. How much do you think that helps you, that type of situation?
I think experience is the greatest teacher. He and I are very familiar. Matter of fact, where he lives at now is a mile from where I grew up. So I can tell him stories, and his eyes just light up because he can relate to that. The transition from going to Greene Central, for me, going from Greene Central to a junior college and becoming a Division I player is a little bit different from him. He's further along as a player than I was at this age. He's further along in the recruiting process than I was at this age, exposure-wise, also. But where he will have the difficulty now is when people start to label him as mid-major or too small to be a power forward at Division I. He has to accept that if that's the record for him and realize that he can still thrive. And I know about getting better as a player. I know about making those transitions. I know about being from a small town and having to go through big-time college basketball, if you will. And, again, I give him all these little anecdotes, all these little helpful tidbits here and there, and and I don't have to worry about him because whatever I kind of say to him, he takes it and he utilizes it. Even if it's a critique or criticism, he takes the good out of it and applies it, and that's what I like about him. His mother has done a beautiful job of raising him. But yeah, I'm pulling out all the stops. I'm like, any question that you have, I can answer it because I have the practical experience because I've been through that.
How much do you think it is, hard on kids where they have so much pressure on them to have to make that leap, to have to go somewhere and try to make that leap?
It's hard if you let the pressure get to you. Pressure in any situation can break you down. What I tell him is just relax and play basketball. Relax and go through practices, training to make yourself better. Because at the end of the day, when it's time to make that decision, you're going to make that decision. But don't let making that decision, don't let that carry onto the court. Because now, trying to make that decision causes indecision and it causes frustration. Don't be frustrated, just relax and play. You're going to play somewhere. But the biggest message that I give to Imajae, and I would give this to any player that's thinking about transferring, what are you trying to get out of transferring? And how is that situation or that coach going to make you a better basketball player?
When you look at how, social media affects it, social media can help, kids get so much more exposure, but it can also hurt because, people say, oh, you need to go even bigger, even more. How much do you think that, kind of ties into, how high school basketball is kind of set up?
It can hurt because sometimes when you start to believe the hype, you start to believe your press clippings a little bit, people can put false hope in you. It can create false expectations. The biggest thing is it's great to go big-time college basketball, but you want to go and play. You got to be realistic and go somewhere where you can play, where you can develop, and you can become the best basketball player that you can become, as opposed to just sitting there wearing a jersey. North Carolina, Duke, NC State, Maryland, any school you name, they get a lot of talent. McDonald's All-Americans, high school All-Americans, great players, but not all of them, get on the floor as much as they want to. So these players, the hype and everything is good, but you got to look beyond the hype. You got to look almost ignore it as much as you possibly can. It's hard to do it now because I see my guys looking on Facebook and they're pointing out, oh man, this is the guy, this is the top ball in this area. He's going here. Look who's recruiting him. All of that is fine for conversational pieces. But my thing is, can he play there? All those schools that's recruiting him, can he play there? He's only going to play for one of them. You know, if something happens, he might get to play for two. But the bottom line is he has to go somewhere where he can develop and he can play and get better. And that's more important than any tag, any label, any press clipping. At the end of the day, if you can't go to a school or, transfer from a high school or college and can't play, it's going to be a miserable experience.